Yeah.
No. Now, Ted, you are on the clock, just like always, with no Ted's Tips for 20s. This is, that's the funniest thing about this. If Ted, I need everybody at home to just understand one thing. If I put in 20 hours per show, Ted puts in less than 20 seconds per show.
So it's like Joe Rogan.
No, I don't honestly believe that Joe Rogan does nothing. That's just his way of being
he says that though.
But that's just his way of saying like oh, look how important I am. I don't do anything and I'm Joe Rogan.
Well, he's probably right because he has a team of writers at his beck and call to do it all for him. So he probably really does do nothing. Other than just show up.
I mean, that would be easy. And that's the thing.
He claims he does no research. He claims he just invites these guests on. Obviously he knows who they are in advance. Other than that, he claims that he's just ad-libbing it the whole time.
I mean, if you know who they are in advance, you kind of have done some research.
Well,
right.
I mean, other than just knowing who they are, I mean, you could just like...
Right. Like if he gets somebody to help him, right, and then he says, and that person helping him is like, this guy had does brain surgery, and he did like 75 brain things, and he does this, and he transplanted like a horse's brain into this guy's head and stuff. I mean, that's already, a little bit of stuff, right? And then he does something. I just think it's such crap that he's like, oh, look how cool I am.
No, he's got that Columbo thing going on where he plays dumb, but he's really like smarter than he is. And well, even if he isn't, like he has like I said, obviously we have 11 million listeners per week, which is the highest ranked podcast in the country as far as I know.
In the world.
There's obviously
except for Mr. Vladimir Putin announces, yes, today is podcast. Everyone must listen or you die.
Did you see the Vladimir Putin clip where I guess one of his generals was lying to his face because they're scared shitless of him, obviously, so they're giving him bad intel.
Teddy, of course they are. What do you want to tell Vladimir Putin? You did it wrong?
I mean, I hate to use the Hitler analogy, but that's what happened to Hitler. All his generals lied to him. Because what choice do they have?
I got my bingo card.
I mean,
it's done.
So that's the funny. So that's actually the downside of being like a strongman dictator because it's like a bubble. People just want to tell you what you want to hear because they don't want to get executed.
Listen, I would love that. I would love to be a strongman dictator. I would love for people to be like, okay, now I'm going to wet finger and put in socket. Oh, you know what? Hey, Matt, greatest idea ever. Just go ahead and do that right now. Yes. Okay, this is what I do. Okay.
You remember when Iraq got invaded during the Gulf War, and the Iraqi minister said, "Hey, everything's okay. Where it's all under control, and the U.S. troops were just like a block away. We're to take the capital." So.
You know what? Hey, I don't watch the news. I never I hate watching the news. It was so funny. We were up in Michigan doing a little golf thing, right? And Monday morning, we get up and my buddy Mike, I'm rooming with my buddy Mike, and he's got the Channel 2 news on, whatever Hoda.
The local news?
No, like whatever the CBS morning, blah, blah, blah.
Hoda Kolb.
Good Morning America? I don't know.
Hoda Kolb and those other, that cabal of.
Yes. And they're doing this and that and everything, and I'm just like, and they're just rambling on about stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't know anything about this, and you know what? I just don't care, man. I honestly don't care.
But yet they turn in like a whole hour. I mean, it was like, are those so like Good Morning? Is that a half hour show or
Dude,
an hour show?
Oh, no. Listen, I think there are 3 Good Morning Americas.
Yeah.
And I think it starts at like 5 a.m. Like it's like idiots are up now, and you need like, hey, do you want to listen to the news? Yeah, this is stuff that happened. This guy was shot. That guy is angry. This woman did this. And then they just repeat that for like 6 hours. I honestly think it goes to like 11 o'clock.
Do they go to like
it's a
3
good
different
shtick.
hosts or something? Yeah.
What's that?
Do they go to like different hosts for that?
So they have a different set of hosts. So for like the 6 hours, like for 2 hours,
there's like 5 of them, right? There's like 5 people. They're always sitting in chairs like outside.
Yeah, and
they're with the background people in the background.
Yeah, and they're just constantly talking about the same thing. And they're this person's dating her, and she is just livid because he was cheating on her. Yeah,
but they're so happy when they're doing it. So I mean, it takes a special talent to have that much vim and vigor. At that early in the morning, because how much drugs are pumped into their system, or at least caffeine, because to be that happy.
But isn't it weird that they can sit there and pretend like they give a shit?
But that's
about
the secret.
Everything.
But that's
right?
the secret sauce, because they were obviously doing a good job of pretending that they care.
I mean, yeah, there's no way anybody really cares. I mean, all the people that talk about all these weird, like especially like what did I watch? I watched who's that fat girl that has a talk show? She used to be a singer. She's just super.
Carney Wilson?
Isn't she dead?
I don't know.
No,
Drew Barrymore. I don't know.
No, Drew. I think Drew.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh.
Jesus God Almighty. There is a lot of Kelly Clarkson. There's.
Oh, I didn't even know she was on.
Dude. So she just has. So we're sitting in the bar, right? We're waiting for the rain to stop, and Kelly Clarkson is just rambling on with famous people, and they're just bullshitting back and forth, and I'm like, who is watching this?
But that's my question. See, so when famous people ramble on about nothing, people find it interesting.
But why?
But when me and you ramble on about nothing,
well,
it's even more interesting.
Well, it takes two of us to equal one Kelly Clarkson. I can tell you that right now. But no, I don't understand it. Like why is Kelly Clarkson or any of these people, Ellen DeGeneres or any of these people, when they're talking to famous people, why are people tuning in? Why do you care about Harrison Ford in his life?
No, because it's just a psychological thing. Because you've been seeing Harrison Ford on TV, just like anything. You think when somebody famous says something important that somehow there's more validity to what they say. But yeah, they don't know anything more than anybody else. They just happen to have exposure on TV. Like I said, I mean, if I was in 7 of the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, when people hear you talk, you think, oh, this person's some type of wise sage, and what they say is going to be something, something important. Even though Harrison Ford does fly his own helicopter, I'll give him credit there. Didn't he save somebody?
I'm pretty sure he crashed and almost killed himself.
Yeah, didn't he? Don't ultimately.
John Denver?
No, I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford almost died during the Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
but I'm talking like later in life. I think obviously he owns like 10,000 acres in Montana, like all celebrities do, and so like he rescued somebody on the side of a mountain. What? Like this is like a few years ago, but the point is, he's like an experienced pilot, like John Travolta. He has like a pilot's license. But yeah, again, when you have all the money in the world, yeah, sure, you get private, pilot lessons, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's not,
Wait, so if this podcast turns into something big, let's just say, okay, listen, I'm not saying I'm going to blow past Joe Rogan, but we are. But let's just say we're second to Joe Rogan. Okay, so he has 11 million listeners a week.
Actually, you'll be third. You'll be third place behind the True Podcast,
True Crime,
True Crime, and then the Cheese Podcast. So maybe number 4. Maybe number 4. So.
Okay, so let's say we're number 4. Okay, Joe Rogan has 11. The other one has 10, 9. We have 8 million listeners, and all of a sudden we make tons of money. Am I going to get a helicopter? Because I don't think I'd be a very good pilot. I would be a terrible pilot. I mean, I would not get in a helicopter with me.
I'd have to recreate one of like the Mission Impossible scenes where he tries to cut Tom Cruise's head off.
Oh man, see, I could kill somebody with a helicopter like myself, but I mean, I think I'd be why would I want to? I would hire somebody to drive my helicopter.
Well, number one, I wouldn't even get on a helicopter because aren't they sort of like inherently dangerous? I mean,
really, do you hear people dying in helicopter accidents every day?
Kobe Bryant. That was a helicopter, I think.
Oh. He wasn't supposed to be flying, so
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh yeah,
that was a helicopter. Yeah.
So
we play at
the Chorus. So that was the Alpine Valley, and they have a ski hill. And I guess Stevie Ray Vaughan it was really foggy or something, and he got in a helicopter, and I don't know, the guy must have been drunk or something. I don't know, man, because he never got high enough to get past the hill and just smashed into the hill.
That's exactly what happened to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, so we're not talking about Mount Kilimanjaro. It's like a ski slope, which isn't
it's a man-made or something.
There's my tip for today. Do not get in a helicopter when it's foggy.
Oh, you know what, Ted? Now you have to beat that tip because that was unsolicited, and now you have to beat that tip. I hope whatever you're writing down right now is
don't get in a single-engine prop plane, like the Buddy Holly special or anything like that.
See, but
Roberto Clemente, those guys,
Yeah, but that would seem like a long time ago. I feel like people are safer now. Like if you're just not doing it stupidly, like if it's raining or snowing or foggy, you just go, hey, man, I'm just going to sit in the bar and drink some more. I'm Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, or just, like I said, I mean, I know, like, important people who are rich, can get on their private jet and be, from New York to L.A. in, like, 2 hours, but, I'm not that adventuresome. I'd rather just stay, on the ground and take my time.
You're also not that rich, too.
Yeah, because I'm not that rich.
Yeah.
I think it's more the rich and not adventuresome part.
I do like it. I do like it, like, when I'm watching golf and they have some famous guy. And he comes out and he goes, when I want to get someplace, I just call Immediate Jet. An Immediate Jet, I just call him up and I just walk over and do it. It's way better than flying with a whole bunch of assholes like Matt and Ted. Yeah, so much better.
Yeah, well, like you think about like all the even like the lesser golfers or any celebrity. I mean, they don't have to own a private jet. They can just hire a private jet to take them wherever they want in the world, just like that.
So that's what we have to look forward to. Dude, I cannot wait. Listen. I cannot wait to be so filthy rich that I just talk down to everybody now. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even go anywhere. I would just build like a compound, and I would just stay there and just do Zoom. I would just do everything through Zoom. You know, 'cause I wouldn't need to go anywhere.
No, listen to me. I have heard this a million times. That is the thing that Teddy talks about when the lottery gets really big, and then we're sitting in Howard Street, right, and we're drunk, right, and I go, Teddy, you know, if we win, man, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Hawaii and then think about what I'm going to do. And Ted's like, nope. I'm going to a compound. I want to be by myself. Nobody around me. I'm like, no, man. We go to Hawaii and we think about it.
That sounds great. The compound sounds terrible.
I'd go to Japan and think about it, actually.
Japan.
Yeah. And those little fish that nibble the dead skin off your feet, and those little, you know, I'm not talking about the happy ending places. I'm talking about the other place.
They
where
nibble. You put your dick in there and they nibble your.
That's not the type of happy ending you want.
I mean, if you don't want a foreskin anymore.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Blowjob by 10,000 fish. Oh man, Teddy, we're giving away more ideas. We are literally giving away ideas right now.
That should have been our $1 million idea.
Oh, by the way, nobody's
dick nibblers.
That's fit.
Nobody's claimed that $1.3 billion lottery prize. That actually was an ad, like a story today. Like the ticket that was sold in Des Plaines, Illinois, for $1.3 billion. Nobody's claimed it yet. Doesn't mean they have a year to do it. So
right,
yeah.
They're
I'm sure somebody
They're probably
has it.
setting up a trust and all that stuff.
But you know what's hilarious? What if somebody bought the ticket and it was in their back pocket, then they washed their clothes, and now it's like disintegrated? Because I've done that before. I bought lottery tickets, I forgot about it, and I've washed my clothes, and then you pull it out, and it's just like a clump of, you know, when you wash like.
Ted, are you telling us that no one's going to win that because you washed your ticket?
Well, the funny thing is, if it does go unclaimed for a year, I don't think it goes back. You know, obviously they don't make the lottery worth $1 billion again, but you know, if it goes for a year, 365 days, then that ticket's done.
Okay, so this is what freaked me out. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So at some points tomorrow, some guy could turn in the ticket, and the government, the whoever has this, is going to hand him a check, right? If he says I want it all, he's going to hand him a check for $400 million. Our government has $400 million in cash just sitting around somewhere that they can hand to somebody? Because we're doing this wrong. Why does our government have so much goddamn money that they can just tomorrow, if they needed to, hand a guy a check for $500 or $400 million? This seems wrong to me. Like the stealing that I think is happening has to be happening on a level so high that I really feel like this is so wrong.
Well, because the answer to your question is easy, because it's easy to just print money, you know, willy nilly, because there's nothing to back it up. So just like why can we spend, you know, how much do we spend in Afghanistan over 20 years?
Wait, so you
Billions?
think if this guy comes forward tomorrow,
how do you know it's a guy?
Well, okay, if this
could
person
could be a teddy bear.
if this teddy bear comes tomorrow at 9 a.m. and says I'd like my money, they're just going to hit a copy machine and print out $433 million $1 bills.
Don't they just give him a check? They don't just
Yes,
give him.
no, they're not
No,
giving
no,
him cash.
there's two things. You could take the 20-year annuity, or if he takes the cash option. So $1.3 billion would be $440 million.
Right. But would you trust the
But
government?
The IRS also gets like $500 million of that.
No, the government. It's not real.
It's
They
a
don't
40%
get anything.
It's a 40% luxury tax on any type of lottery winnings.
But that's not 40%. That's 2/3.
60%. I don't know. So
yeah, whatever it is, it's 2/3. You're getting 1/3 of the money basically, and that seems ridiculously wrong to me.
And yet it's still $400 million. So I would, you know, begrudgingly accept that.
Yeah, but it just scares me that we could give that away. That what's sitting around? Is there $1 billion sitting around somewhere?
I just don't know where it's coming from, because
Right.
because it's not coming from the state of Illinois, because the Mega Million, the Powerball, is like in say 10, 12 states. So where's that slush fund of lottery? You know,
Ted,
for that
this
pool of
whole
lottery
thing,
money?
this whole thing is this. You know what? I honestly am starting to believe the government is a scam. The whole thing just is unreal. It just doesn't exist. Like, we're giving money to nothing. If we all just tomorrow, right? If we all just got together and was like, you know what? I'm starting a new thing.
It's called crypto.
No, just stop paying taxes. Just stop giving the government money. They clearly have hundreds of millions of dollars already. Use that. Use whatever you have already stored up.
Yeah.
Don't give it to anybody, and then stop taking my money.
Well, like I said, I mean, the government gave Ukraine $40 billion in like 10 seconds, but they can't build a road or anything infrastructure related without having, you know, months and months of congressional hearings. So I guess the key is just pretend you're a conflict somewhere far away, and you'll get money in like 10 seconds, right? So obviously the government can do whatever they want.
So
anytime
you're
they
saying
want.
we need to start a conflict right here in my
There's already a
basement.
conflict. Yeah.
You know, I got to stop saying my basement. In the studio, we have to start a conflict in the studio between two adverse countries.
Well, that's why the government hates crypto, because they don't control it. They can't control because
it's not real. Ted.
Well, even if it's not real,
Yeah.
but the point, even if it's a fugazi, it's a wheezy, it's a woozy. But the point is, if the government can't control something, they automatically say it's illegal. But as long as they're getting a cut of taxes on it, then it becomes legal. Like, remember when prohibition, the government in their infinite wisdom outlawed alcohol. Well, look how that turned out.
My God,
Al Capone was making $20 million a year in 1920.
Ted.
And then he got syphilis and died.
It was actually Jackson was actually tertiary syphilis. That's even worse.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that difference is, but either way, it
It
sounds
means it was
bad.
really, really bad syphilis.
Dude.
Why do you know that?
Yeah, who knows? Listen, that would be if tomorrow they outlawed alcohol. I honestly, the world would erupt. Yeah, America would end. Just everything would be in flames. Yeah. Everything would burn.
Yeah, but think about the senators sitting around in 1923, wherever it happened, say, hey, we need to outlaw alcohol. That's a really good idea.
Well, I mean, they're banning books right and left now, so
that's
they're
true.
They're getting into their whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, Teddy, we're gonna start this thing.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah,
That's the longest intro I've ever heard.
we keep doing this, man. It makes me nuts. Okay, if you're Ted is writing, so while Ted is writing, I will start this thing. Hey, everybody, my name is Matt, and welcome to another edition of the Real 3 Idiots podcast. This week's show is being brought to you in living Technicolor. Yes, so if you are listening at home, turn off the black and white, turn on the color, adjust it, and you will get living Technicolor. Remember that? Didn't they have shows that were in living Technicolor?
Technicolor, yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's called
H.
Okay. It's like
Wasn't Wizard of Oz the first one that
in
did
living Technicolor? I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Okay, and the entire show can be downloaded and translated to Latin for only $69.99.
What about Sanskrit?
No, Ted, Latin.
What about cuneiform?
No, Jack, Latin. Jeez, it's a classy language. All right, with me as always is the slow-witted Teddy.
Happy Tuesday and welcome to number 35.
34.
34.
34. So I think it's 35, 34. You know what? I lost track. I wrongly numbered one of them. Okay. I think I just skipped the number 29. Okay. I think I went from 27 or 28 to 30. So yeah. So whatever, man.
But we still here. Still here.
I can check on my phone right now what number it is.
And a shout out to all our listeners wherever you may be.
Oh man, Teddy.
We love you.
New listeners in Australia. New listeners in, oh, man, I forgot what state. We got a new state, and I forgot what state it is. Son of a gun.
Well, you got a 1 in 50 chance of guessing right.
Really? You know what? It's way less than that because I'm terrible at states. Okay. And joining us again is my son, the fruit of my loins.
You say the fruit of the loom?
You are here. Wow. You know what? I just thought of this. You're here because of my sperm. Jack, welcome.
I was just going to say about
I'm
just
a big boy now.
Based on the decisions.
He is a big boy, so my sperm was good, man. My sperm, good sperm right here. Yes. Well, not anymore, but was good sperm.
I hope I forget that line in a few hours.
That is terrible. All right, so Teddy, we're going to start right away with Ted's tips for 20s because it's super important.
It is, and we just want to get out of the way, just like we talked about before, this is an ancillary tip, but so, for example, I think I said this tip before. If you're in class, and this is like not just for 20s, but for, pre-20s, if you don't know the answer to a question, like if you're unprepared in class.
Shit in your pants and run out.
No.
Oh, that's not a good idea?
Raise your hand right away. And just
raise your hand?
No, raise your hand right away. As soon as the professor starts talking, raise your hand right away and just make up your own question and answer it right away. And I guarantee you they won't call on you again. If it's like one of those involved classes where the teachers really picks out students.
But the teachers, the professor's going to think you're a complete retard.
Exactly. And that's why
Ted,
it works.
This is the person who gives you a grade. Do you honestly want them to think you're that stupid?
You know what C's get degrees too?
You can do what one kid I know did and call the teacher a Pippi Longstocking bitch.
No, I wouldn't. I don't
No
recommend
way.
that. I don't recommend that.
In class.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? There's no wonder when every time I look up there's a teacher shortage because if somebody called me a Pippi Longstocking bitch, I would be pump slapping that mother.
Wait, who's
man.
who's Pippi Longstocking again?
Pippi Longstocking is Pippi Longstocking.
I mean,
Isn't it
she
a
wasn't a
character?
good teacher, but
I thought that was like Edward Scissorhands or
Little
something.
excessive.
Yeah, it's a made up character. It's
Yeah.
not a person.
Yeah.
Okay, Teddy, I'll give you a few more seconds to write stuff down as we get to our sponsor that I will do right now. Are you okay with that?
I'm good with that. Thank
Okay. From the makers of Perfect Shoe and Perfect Hat comes the new and improved Perfect Gloves. Perfect Gloves are perfect for all those times you can't find any other gloves anywhere. The new and improved Perfect Gloves now come with 4 fingers and a thumb. And the new and improved Perfect Gloves have none of those annoying glass shards and metal fragments found in the older models. New and improved Perfect Gloves are now safe to wear around newborns and come with a cord to keep them from running away. Be sure not to subject Perfect Gloves to warm or cold temperatures, water, honey, or pancreatic fluids. Perfect Gloves can hurt you and most likely want to, and they are capable of hate crimes, bouts of depression, and suicidal thoughts and tendencies. Get your friend a pair of Perfect Gloves today. Wow, listen, I'm telling you, I cannot wait for these things to come in the mail. We get everything. Yeah, we get everything.
I know.
So
how do they contact
perks.
you? I mean, like they're a big company. How would they?
You know what? I got in touch with them. I guess there's something about them advertising in other places. It's illegal. It's I believe it's us and Belarus. They can advertise on this show and in Belarus, and that's it.
I heard they're popular in Thailand.
Yeah. You know what? And Azerbaijan. Yeah.
So I actually have a funny, just real quick.
You have a funny Azerbaijan story.
No, I don't have any Azerbaijan stories. Assuming I'm even saying that correctly.
No one in Azerbaijan even has a funny story. So okay, I'm excited about that.
So I read something. It's actually funny. It was actually out of Vegas. So they arrested 2 women who were hosting an illegal brothel, like apparently just in some neighborhood just off the Vegas Strip, and it was 2 elderly Asian women. And apparently the police were surveilling this house. And so I guess that 200 people went to this house like in the span of like a week and a half. So they arrested 2, I think, like Chinese nationals, and one woman was like 50, one woman was like 40, and then the woman who was like the madam, like the Heidi Fleiss type madam there, she had a nice car, and I guess she had like a brothel of like younger women who like were basically kept prisoner in her house. And,
Whoa,
and they said
that's trafficking, dude.
And they said when they arrested her, they found a large box of condoms.
Wait,
I'm
what do you
shocked.
need? Why do you need condoms for hand jobs? That seems like a weird combination. Yeah.
It's just funny because, in Nevada, not that I've ever partook of it, but
yeah, right.
has the only, actually Clark County, Nevada, outside of Vegas, I think it's like 30 miles outside of Vegas, is the only legal prostitution in the country.
Yeah,
Like
we
the Bunny
talked
Ranch.
about that.
Yeah,
that is
It's
bullshit.
outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
I think it's just outside
It's just
of
outside
Vegas.
yeah.
I think it's
So
just
the
outside of
Bunny
Vegas.
Ranch, yeah, but I mean, they the government actually sort of oversees the Bunny Ranch or whatever it's called today. But yeah, so they test the workers, for various STDs, but it's a legal operation. So it's just comical that they arrested, and it made national news. So it's just funny how it's sort of hypocritical that they arrest these 2 women for basically doing the same thing that the government's condoning, basically in the same town.
Teddy,
The government makes so much money.
And that goes back. And that goes back to my original thing, where it's like, okay, if the government's not getting a cut of it, then it's illegal. But as long as the government's getting a cut, well, then it's okay.
But that makes no sense to me. That why isn't all these right wing Christian groups, why haven't they shut down prostitution in this one tiny place? It seems like it'd be super easy to do that, right? It's in one county, in one city, in one state. Why haven't these people flipped out and stopped that?
Sure. Actually, I just read another funny story. So I don't know what state it was, but basically the police of the state ran a sting operation about men who were soliciting prostitutes who were advertising on Craigslist or whatever. So this guy who was on his honeymoon left his wife who was sleeping in her hotel room to go meet a prostitute, who I'm assuming was over of legal age, and he got busted. But it was just sort of funny that he's
yeah. So isn't that crazy? So I read that story. So over the course of like 4 months, they busted like 200 people. Okay, so and this is the weirdest thing. The cops spent 4 months wasting their time busting people who were paying someone to have sex.
And an adult. An
Right.
adult.
This wasn't
A
even for
consenting
like the
adult.
human trafficking.
It's
thing. just
nothing
for
to do-
people having sex.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, so let's
people
assume-
paying
yeah,
other
let's
people to
ass-
have
yeah,
sex.
let's assume it's like just.
But if you
consenting
video it, it's
adults.
legal.
I,
That's
oh,
so
you can make a porno.
stupid. Yeah.
Whoa! I didn't even see. Now it even gets dumber, right? Why? Why are they? There are people selling drugs. There are people murdering people. There's so many bad.
Yeah.
There's corporations stealing money, and there's some poor asshole who got married, and his wife isn't putting out on their honeymoon. They're not putting out on their honeymoon.
Or maybe just not enough. We don't know. I don't know the details. So, we don't know.
You think this guy's like a sex addict, and his wife just went like 8 hours, and then he needed more?
Well, she was sleepy. Obviously, she was in bed. It was her bedtime, but obviously it wasn't his bedtime. he wasn't ready for bed.
Well, it was his. Yes, he was, Ted. He just wasn't ready to sleep in a bed. Yeah, that's a tough one though, man. I mean, when you call your brand new wife, you've been married for less than 24 hours,
Yeah.
to bail you out of jail, right?
Or call her Pamela Anderson, right? Because she's the one who always gets married and gets like an annulment like the next day, right? She's famous for that, right?
Yes, she is bad news. Okay, Teddy, no more
No more stalling.
stalling. Now, we need your Ted's tips for 20s. Do it.
Do you? Okay, so my tip this week is your friends want to see you fail.
What?
Let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
So, not all your friends want to see you fail, but like in general,
Just the good ones or just the
yeah.
shitty ones?
So when you have a certain circle of friends, and as long as you're kind of you stay in your lane, you're in your, whatever your skill level is, as long as you're not quite as good as them, then it's acceptable. But once you become more successful than them, I guarantee you, not with all your friends, just some of them, who are never your friends to begin with, by the way, there's going to be a level of resentment. There's going to be a level of resentment.
Wait a minute.
What?
Are you saying because I'm better than you at golf, you resent me, you son of a bitch?
I didn't say that. You just need to cheat better. That's all I'm saying.
No, but I mean, wait a minute. If one of our buddies hit big on something and they became successful,
Sure.
You would be upset about that?
No, not me. I'm just saying human nature dictates that, people want to feel superior to other people in some capacity, and that's just human nature. I'm not saying I'm just talking in generality. So when one of your friends who will just say like, let's just say you perceive one of your friends as like beneath you in some way, whether it's socially, financially, whatever, and all of a sudden
You mean like if the two of you were on like a podcast and you just felt like you were better than that other person,
anything's possible. Anything's
You'd
possible.
want them
So,
to fail.
you would want them to have like shitty tips for 20,
something like that. So yeah, and so so the bottom line is, so just be careful about who you surround yourself as your friends, because your friends are your most important. Could be your most important assets. Like there's a saying that says a competent enemy is actually more valuable to you than an incompetent friend, because the incompetent friend will actually hurt you more in the long run than a competent enemy, because you know who your enemies are,
right?
but your friends, who aren't really your friends to begin with, they can hurt you more.
Isn't that thing like keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, or something like that?
Yeah, it's along those lines. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, that seems kind of bummerish, man.
Kind of Machiavellian, it is. Yeah, but I mean, and they're not going to tell you. So, like I said, no one's going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you these things. You're just going to find this out kind of the hard way.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that why everybody's so jealous that we're on this awesome podcast?
It's likely. I can only speak in generalities. I don't know anything.
It's likely. Oh man, so that's why they treat me like shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm super awesome and I have a super awesome podcast. Oh man.
Here, you know what it's like? Here, I'll give you this analogy. Okay, so let's just say there's a hot. Like I said, we're not dating hot chicks, but let's just say there's a hot chick out there. Okay, there's a hot chick, and she knows she's a hot chick, and she uses her hotness. She weaponizes her hotness as an asset, to her advantage. And there's nothing wrong with that. But she doesn't give you the time of day, because she's up the food chain. She's a 9 or 10, and you're a 4 or 5, and a 9 or 10 will never commiserate with a 4 or 5. But
hold on a second. Isn't that what money's all about, Teddy?
Yeah.
Aside from money. But here's the thing that hot chicks hate more than anything.
Equalizer.
Here's what hot chicks hate more than anything.
For both genders.
If you say another hot chick, I'm going to cut your dick off.
It's true. This is their kryptonite.
Ted,
a chick that they perceive as
good.
A chick that they perceive as hotter than them. They hate that.
No.
That.
We are moving on.
All
We
right,
are moving on from that because your
I'm
tip
done.
was awesome. Your
Okay.
tip was awesome. Okay.
That's what
Teddy
she said.
Teddy, I know you're going to love this story. Okay, I know.
Don't tell me what I'm going to love.
I know you're going to love this.
I might like it.
Teddy, an Alabama man was put to death last month, and
What took so long?
wait till you hear this. And I guess the corrections officers screwed it up. Okay, so this guy killed his girlfriend. Are you ready for this? In 1994. Yeah, 1994. He was put to death about 2 months ago. Yeah.
28 years?
Listen, whatever you do, don't do the math. Don't do the math, okay? So I guess the problem is that this guy took like 3 hours to die. Okay?
Should have taken 6.
Yeah. No, listen. They couldn't, I guess they would give him a lethal injection, and they could not find the vein, right, to give him his go-away juice. And I guess ultimately, this is kind of funny. They just sliced his arm open and just like stuck the needle in and pumped the stuff in. Okay? Just
Stuck it right to the deep muscle tissue.
Right. And people were just like, hey, man, how did everything go? And I guess the people, the corrections officers are like, just like it. Just like every time we've done it, just a regular old day, right?
Jesus.
But they found out what had happened, right? And I guess there's a woman, her name is Maya Foa. She is the director of, are you ready? Reprieve U.S. Forensic Justice Initiative. And they are against the death penalty.
Obviously. So.
Okay, so this guy killed his girlfriend, and they think, oh, you know what? We just, he deserved to live after he killed his girlfriend, right? And this is what she said. She said, subjecting a prisoner to 3 hours of pain and suffering is the definition of cruel and unusual punishment.
No, it's not. Actually, number one, like I said, without going into that whole kick again, like I said, easy solution. A rope costs $1. You could build yourself a nice guillotine for about maybe $5,000, and how much does it cost to sharpen it on a yearly basis? And just use that. And no drugs are necessary. We don't need to find any veins.
Listen.
No veins need to be found. No 3-drug cocktail needs to be ordered by any pharmaceutical company.
Listen, I get it, Teddy. I get it. I understand that. I knew you would love that story, right?
A horse will be happy to draw or quarter you anytime.
Yeah,
I always like how the guillotine works because it's all theoretical how it works. So apparently, it's supposed to make it so you don't feel pain when you cut a person's head off. But I don't know how you test that because you're dead when it happens.
Well, you just assume.
You just assume. That's the whole weird thing about a guillotine. They're like, oh, you don't feel anything. You don't know that.
So the funny thing is, everyone's up in arms.
That is true.
So Oklahoma just reinstated the death penalty. So apparently Oklahoma, I think it's Oklahoma. Don't quote me on this, but I guess
correct.
They're going to
We're going to Oklahoma.
They're going to execute, I guess, like 25 prisoners in the next 2 years whose appeals have run out, and of course, some portions of the country that are anti-death penalty are up in arms about this. But of course, these are the most horrible. I mean, these aren't people. We're not talking about with traffic citations. These are multiple murderers.
Hold on. So we're not killing people who go through red lights.
No. Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah. So, and here's the funny thing: like people say, "Oh, the death penalty is not a deterrent." Well, you're right; it's not a deterrent, but it does get rid of the person who did the killing of that person, though. So we're not saying it's going to deter somebody else from killing somebody, unless it's a public execution, because then it might. But the point is, it's going to get rid of that person who's a bad actor.
Okay, I've got an idea, and this is weird, right? You said they're gonna kill 25 people
over the next 2 years, who've already been on death row for like 20 plus years.
But here, let's just change it up. How about we do this? We put all 25 in like an arena, right? One person gets away free.
It's like Escape from New York.
Yeah.
It's like Escape from New York. I
love it.
I don't know what. Okay, they might be hungry. I don't know.
No,
but
Hunger Games.
So we put them all in there, and whoever lives gets to go free. There we go.
Into a better prison.
No. They can go completely free. That person out of 25 can go completely free.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you know how much
terrifying.
money? Yeah, you know how much money that would make? You're watching people really kill each other.
So here's the funny thing: like right now, if that actually became like a real thing, like a real topic of conversation, there'd be so much outrage out there. And yet, if that actually came on TV, it would be the number one watched show ever.
ever.
Yeah. So
no other show.
So whatever the Nielsen ratings are, I want you to picture. I don't know whatever the highest watch show, the most watched show ever, like the Emmys or the Oscars.
The last episode of Seinfeld.
Okay, was that the big?
No, it was MASH.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
MASH.
Last episode of MASH.
Yeah.
That's still the number one thing that was watched.
I would have Googled
far.
that.
It was like 103 million people or something crazy.
No
like that
way.
Yeah. Beat out
I probably watched.
So
that.
I think the next closest was probably like Seinfeld.
Well, hold on, but that was a time when there were like 4 stations.
Yeah, that's why it won.
But I'm saying if you
unfair.
and I know there's an oversaturation of the market and there's so much stuff out there like 90 Day Fiancé, Big Brother, blah blah blah, Love Island, whatever's out there. But I
They'd
guarantee
call
you,
it Death Island. It'd be the new Death.
If that actually came out and it was like a real thing,
episode coming.
Yes, I am doing Death Island.
the people who say
I like that.
I don't condone it, they'd be like, I got to tune this shit in. I got to see what's going on here.
Yeah. You could probably charge like $500 million per
like
commercial.
pay-per-view. Like what do they charge during a Super?
God.
What's the Super Bowl ad? They charge like for a 30-second ad. It's like $5 million for a Super Bowl ad for a 30-second
Dude,
spot.
this would be the Super Bowl times 10 jillion.
Yeah,
And it'd be like UFC. The number goes up every one you have. So it'd be Death Island 1, and then 20 years would be Death Island like 25
Gladiator
or
Games, Death Island.
Oh man,
May the best asshole win. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
dude, that would be. I'll tell you what. I am not like a psychotic, okay?
No,
but
it's not psychotic.
But honestly, if we could just get those people who have done terrible things,
terrible things.
Yeah,
Terrible things.
just-
I mean,
just
because the funny
get
thing,
rid of 'em.
when they talk about these like death row inmates, they always say what they did. They wasn't like, oh, this poor guy. They make what they make it sound. They make it sound like here's a guy who's like 50 years. They were all like in the same age range. They're like 50 to 65 years old, and they make it sound like they were just like randomly put on death row for no apparent reason.
Right.
And then they like mention, oh, by the way, this guy murdered 3 people back in 1975 after he kidnapped them, and they begged for their life, and they put him in the trunk of their own car. And now this piece of shit is still alive, still breathing, and the good taxpayers of whatever state have to pay for this guy's food, his cable
right.
TV
and,
bill.
and then when he complains
his
that he
library.
wasn't able to watch TV,
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the Emmys. I never saw Chris Rock get slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
saw
fair.
one of those. It was like a guy was in jail until he was like 80, and then they let him out because they thought he was harmless, and then he stabbed
killed
stabbed
somebody.
someone
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're in prison for 50 years, and you're such a piece of shit. The first thing you do is you get out and you stab somebody.
Yeah. So don't
Yeah,
think
and
just
then-
because someone's like elderly,
Oh my
if
God.
you're capable of holding and gripping something, yeah, you can grip a knife, you can grip a gun, yeah, you can still be
Dude.
dangerous. You're still
How
dangerous.
How messed up would you be as a person that you're just like, hey man, you've been in jail for 60 years. We're gonna let you free. You got cancer. You're gonna be dead in 2 days. And the first thing you think about is how fast can I get a knife, and how many people can I stab in 2 days? Wow, dude, that is terrifying. Okay, so this is either really scary or just plain stupid. Okay, are you ready? A Florida man, yes, of course, walked into a grocery store about a week, 2 weeks ago, and he did his darndest to try to buy a couple's 8-year-old kid.
Oh, I heard about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So it's like, remember in the Blues Brothers, I want to buy your children.
How much for the women? I want to buy your daughters. I want to buy your
But
wife.
this guy, wasn't this guy like 80 years older? He was like 85.
So
He was
he
85.
offered them $100,000.
And so they walked out of there without a kid, right?
Yeah, listen. Back in 2018, he did the same thing, and he offered $200,000 for the kid.
I just want.
And
does
so
the-
that's why he offered less. This
Does the
time,
guy
'cause he
even
had
have
less.
$200,000? That's
I have no idea, but listen, Jack, you're sitting here right now. You're sitting right now, and I can tell you right this. I love you, but $200,000, dude. I mean, come on.
I would have
man.
sold you for 10. Boys cry.
Oh, okay, you son of a gun. Okay, so I just want to let you go. If anybody needs a 23-year-old,
But it's so absurd.
$17.
I know they talk about intent and everything, but like when this guy goes to trial, I think this guy's he's already like a registered sex offender.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
think I
he
read the
is.
story,
Oh, yeah, he is.
obviously.
Oh, yeah,
but
he
he's 85. Not that he's not harmless, not that he's not dangerous. But the point is, you go to trial with this guy. I would just check his bank account. Does this guy even have $100,000?
So fraud. You want to get him for fraud, not for trying to buy
Yeah,
a child.
I like
you want to get him for
how
fraud.
Ted's like, I don't care about the kid.
Yeah.
I want to know if he has the money.
Here's a funny thing. So I mean, as talking as like if I was a criminal defense, so a criminal defense attorney. So if I was a criminal defense attorney, okay,
Oh my God.
and I said I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna assault you, okay. But the point, so I guess, but a defense to that is that if I'm not even physically capable of getting to you, that's a defense against that. So like if I'm locked in a plexiglass cage, like on a stick like 50 feet above the ground, and I can't physically get to you, I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna do some bad shit to you, man.
God, I'm so glad you're far away from me
But
right
I
now
can't-
because you seem so serious.
I can't get
and
to you.
horny.
Yeah. So the point is, so if I was this guy's defense attorney, not that this guy, not that he's not a piece of crap, but the point is, if this guy's got $25 in his bank account, he goes, I will give you $1 billion for your children.
That'd be awesome if the person like the person he tried to buy, the person he tried to buy from is just like, all right, I'll take the 100,000, and the guy goes, I got like $50. He goes, you son of a bitch! I was willing to sell you my 8-year-old. You mother.
And this is at a Safeway or so? It was like a Safeway or something, like
yeah.
a Piggly Wiggly or something. I don't know where it
Could you
was.
imagine walking into a grocery store? We got Jewels by us. Jewels and I can't even think about it, like Trader Joe's. You walk into Trader Joe's, right? You got your 8-year-old with you. You're pushing a thing, and the guy walks in and he goes, I'll give you $100,000 for your kid, and you just go like this. Okay, well, just go ahead and take the cart. And how we I mean, obviously, we're doing this in cash. We're not doing this in a check, but
He's going
wait,
to give you German bearer bonds, yeah.
Can you just
It's just an IOU post.
No. This is my Zelle account. Just go ahead and do that, and then you can, Daddy. Shh. He's your daddy now.
So I got one funny hitman story that I wanted to tell before, but I couldn't tell it. So
Okay.
So you know how we talked about like when you like a hitman says I'll kill whoever for like $100.
Ted, it's not whoever.
You're obviously talking about an undercover agent. So here's a guy. This is funny. So this guy, this dumbass, I don't know what state he's in. It's actually pretty funny. So this guy is seeing a woman. He's married. He's seeing a woman. And I guess he's seen her a couple of times. He lives in one state, she lives in another. He's like owns some like car dealerships or something, so he sounds like he's well to do. And I guess like the boyfriend of this woman who he was seeing texts him and says, "Hey, if you don't give me blah 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 X amount of dollars, I'm gonna tell your wife. I'm gonna tell your wife you've seen this woman." So this
sounds like a scam.
So right? this dummy, instead of just basically calling his bluff or just fessing up to his wife, he hires not just one hitman, 4 hitmen.
He hires 4 hitmen to kill the guy?
He hires 2 guys, and then these guys, 2 guys, recruit another 2 guys, and as we know,
they tell 2 friends about it.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
like
on.
So 2 people. So 2 people can keep a secret if one of them's dead. Now you got 4 people, so we know no one's can keep a secret on this one. So okay, so here's the trick.
all 4 of them undercover cops?
No, these are actually they're guys that want to be like, one guy claims he's like former special forces, Israeli special forces, blah blah blah. Long story short, unfortunately, they do actually go through and they do kill this woman and the boyfriend.
Oh, they kill them both?
Kill them both.
Oh, now he's got to find a new girlfriend. That sucks.
So to cover up his infidelity. So here's where it gets funny. So basically, he pays these guys.
It's already pretty funny.
He's paid him $750,000.
Oh my god.
So he's got so this guy's $750,000. So but that's not good enough because now one of the co-conspirators says, "I want more." So now he hires another hitman to kill the hitman.
So you're hiring hitmen to kill hitmen?
He's hiring,
this is like Fargo on crack,
he's hiring
man.
a hitman to kill the hitman. Yeah, and obviously all 4 of these dummies get busted because these morons can't find their ass with both hands.
Did any of the hitmen die?
No, I think they just got arrested at various locations. But the point is, if you got $750,000 laying around, why not just divorce your wife and just give her half, and you're free to leave? Wow. What's the big deal?
Dude, that is crazy. Okay, so I've got something. Listen, I've got something that's kind of similar. So I don't know if you know this, but U.S. Representative Tom McClintock, he got some terrible news recently. His wife died, from ingesting large amounts of white mulberry leaf.
I think I heard about that.
Okay,
what is that?
Right. So white mulberry leaf, it's kind of used for like a weight loss thing.
It's not like belladonna because I think that's like poison.
No.
Poison,
it's not at all. It's not at all. Yeah. Now here's the really weird thing, right? So the coroner was looking at this, and the coroner said it's basically impossible to accidentally take enough white mulberry leaf to kill you. It's impossible. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you couldn't do that. Actually, and here's some stats. I looked this up. Since 2018, there have been about 100 ODs on white mulberry leaf.
Is this an over-the-counter
Yeah. Some kind of
like
bullshit.
Like a capsule or weight loss cap. Like it's like a red apple cider vinegar.
Yes, absolutely.
Green tea.
Right? So there've been about 100 ODs on this stuff, but 0 deaths. Okay, so I had to do some research on this because this is really weird that she would die from this, right? So I was looking at things that are totally safe, but if you have too much, your wife will die. Okay,
isn't that like you can say that with water, right? Didn't remember Karen Carpenter, the singer from the
what? She died from water?
Yeah, she drank too much water. She was like anorexic, but she drowned her own kidneys. Back in the day.
There's like that one contest where you could win like a Nintendo and all you had to
For
do was
dying?
drink. No, you drink a bunch of milk. And this lady drank a bunch of milk, and then she died.
Yeah. Or you ever
What? Wait a minute. What idiot would win a Nintendo? You could just buy a Nintendo. How much
know.
is a Nintendo? Like $250,000?
I have no idea, but she died from it.
Yeah.
So she had a milk drinking contest.
You ever heard of the game Chubby Bunny?
Yes.
It's like where you stuff your mouth
What?
with marshmallows, and what happens is like
That's how you
the
choke.
saliva in your mouth expands the marshmallows, and you choke on it. It expands in your throat, and you die.
I've
So-
never played
Wait,
Chubby
so there's
Bunny.
a contest where you die. You do this
Well,
to die?
you don't try to die, but you might die. So yeah, don't. So that's another tip. Don't play Chubby Bunny.
You ever seen someone
Stupid.
swallow a hot dog whole?
You can choke on that.
Wait, if I say yes, am I in trouble?
Yeah.
That is wrong. But okay, so again, I had to do some research to find some things that are things that we have all the time that would kill you. Are you ready for this? Cherry pits, apple seeds, and elderberries all have cyanide, and if you eat too many of these, your wife will die.
And she'll smell, and your father will smell like a hamster.
Okay, now this one, this is weird. So this one will not kill you, but nutmeg. If you go nutmeg crazy, okay, and you take nutmeg, it will literally cause hallucinations, dizziness, and confusion.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea
What
either.
is it, cherry
It's like
pit?
it's like
Is it
acid.
Cherry pits cyanide.
Cyanide? Sorry.
Cherry pits are cyanide, but nutmeg, nutmeg. You will actually. So here's what I did. I bought a giant thing of nutmeg, and I think after the show we'll just go ahead and do a whole bunch of bumps and see what the deal is. Is that cool?
You got the dollar bills?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm in nutmeg, man. It's like, I guess it's like a poor man's cocaine.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, like huffing, like kids who don't have a lot of money, they huff what's called toluene, which is like basically paint thinner. They huff paint thinner, and that shit's really bad.
Don't they like shoot? Don't they like put paint into a bag?
Did you hear what New York just did?
No, they put it in a rag.
What?
They put it on a rag.
People under 18, or is it 21?
21.
Can't buy
Whipped cream.
because of the nitrous oxide.
The nitrous
'cause
oxide,
kids,
yeah.
Kids huff it, and
They
then
huff
it
the
kills.
nitrous.
And the way it gets you high is it basically just kills your brain cells.
Yeah, that's what toluene does. Just kills your brain cells.
So all
New
the
York
kids
City or
under
New
21 who
If you-
just want like a banana split can't have
Yeah.
that anymore because somebody
Without an adult, yeah.
without an
Well, I mean, the funny.
Wait a minute. Remember when we were kids and we used to find we were underage and we used to find somebody like who was going into a liquor store and we give them $20 to buy.
I never found anyone.
What? So we
You didn't even take them out back?
So this is what we would do. We'd stand up by a liquor store, right? And say a case of beer at that time was like $15, right? We say, hey man, we give them a 20, right? And say, buy us a case of beer. They keep the change, and they would come out and buy you a case of beer. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Here's what I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Everybody at my age, whatever, has done that. Yes.
I never did it. I never did it.
Jack,
but,
you hold on.
I've never
Jackson
done
cannot. Yeah, you better not
but
fucking admit
but,
that.
but I got.
No, I'm just saying. I bet you that's what you did.
Yeah,
I got
no, we did that all the time.
I got solicited for it one
I'm
time.
literally a
Yeah.
hardcore alcoholic. Yeah. You got what? You got solicited?
I got solicited to buy some
Oh
some
my God! I
underage
thought you were about
kids
sex.
like a case of beer, and I said, "Nah, I can't do it." So I said, "Yeah, sorry about that." So
That's a lie. You told me. Oh, right. You said no. Yep, that's right.
just say no.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
for me, it's okay because I've been going.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
Going
As
out
many
since I was
times as
18.
we did that,
Yeah.
because there was a. Wow, this is so bad.
I'm like, why would I buy?
I can't believe I'm telling anybody this.
I want to drink beer when I'm 18. I don't give a shit
Yeah,
about you.
yeah. No, it's so funny that there was a liquor store where like we had it took probably like 4 people before we found some adult that would buy like 15-year-old kids a case of beer.
Yeah, there's
What
always
a-
there's
what a
always,
weird world.
There's
we
always
live in.
somebody.
What kind of adult did you get to do that?
Yes.
There's always somebody who's
Jack,
like morally.
it never took more than 4 people.
Yeah,
Really?
So you have a 25% chance, and there's always somebody who's morally compromised, who's more than
Yeah.
happy to help.
Yeah.
If the price is right.
Listen, all the guys, if there's guys that listen to the show that we went to high school with and, grammar school and all that kind of stuff that we hung out with, they all know we did that. Yeah, we absolutely did.
You know what I'm bummed out? You know what I don't see in liquor stores anymore? Mad Dog 2020. They don't have Mad Dog 2020 anymore.
What is
You're
that?
not looking.
It's like wine. It's like so a Skid Row bum like in L.A. The drink of choice for like the winos is called Richard's. It's called Richard's Irish Rose Whiskey. Mad Dog 2020 was like just a cheap wine, and it came in like a little pint, and it was like peach flavor. No, it was orange flavor or grape flavor, and there was like another flavor, and it was called Mad Dog 2020.
It's
so.
it's
Sounds
what
gross.
a giant it's what a giant piece of shit takes so that they can just get drunk fast.
Now, is that better than Malort?
Ooh.
No, Malort just tastes terrible. This is something you can buy. Honestly, was it like $3 or $4 for a
Yeah.
bottle of
God.
Mad Dog 2020?
Don't even have to take it out of the paper bag. Just keep it in
So that was your
the screw-off cap, you know.
Well, I feel like I'm. Let's teach young kids how to be alcoholics. But this is what we did. So we would buy a bottle of Mad Dog, right, and everybody would just pass it around. Thank God there was no COVID then, because we would all be dead, right? So we just pass around a bottle of Mad Dog, right, and then you start drinking whatever, you know. You could buy a case of beer for $15 and just start slamming
but you know,
that down.
Mad Dog never came in like a fifth. It was always like a pint. It was always like a little small bottle. I never saw like Mad Dog in a big,
yeah, it was just
big
a pint.
bottle. Yeah.
The drink of choice that's the cheapest now is Skol vodka.
Skol Viking.
Yeah.
I think that's like $7 now. I can't imagine how cheap it was when you were a kid.
I'm just not a vodka guy.
I mean, it's gross, but if
They're
it gets you
better.
there, it gets you there.
No,
So
you know what?
It's a
And
means,
this is
it's a
why
means to an end.
for everybody out there, don't start a podcast. Don't have your son on there, and don't let him say stuff like this. It'll make you sad.
He knows stuff that you don't know,
Oh,
and that you
man.
don't want to know.
There's stuff I don't want to know. Okay, so let me listen. I'm gonna throw this out here, and you tell me if this is a bad idea. Okay, are you ready? A company called Catholic Charities in Omaha, Nebraska, did a really smart thing, really stupidly. They had a mass shooting drill. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
I vaguely, but
Okay,
yeah,
so
how
they had
bad
a
is
mass
this gonna
shooting
be?
drill. The only problem was they didn't tell their employees.
that's like having a bank robbery drill and having some guy come in dressed with the Ronald Reagan mask, like Point Break, with an AK-47.
That's like that Office scene where he does the fire drill. He doesn't tell anybody, and they all
Right.
freak out. It's just a terrible idea.
Right. So this is what happened.
And yet it's
okay?
kind of accurate.
Well, listen.
Tell me they didn't use a fake gun or a real gun during it.
Oh man, this is good. So they hired a dude, right, who looked like he was up in a bell tower trying to murder people. Okay, and then he starts shooting, and then they had actors that there's only a few people knew about. Who were literally like hitting themselves, and like blood was flying everywhere, right? And again, only a few people knew about it. Okay, the employees went ape shit. People called 911.
No,
Okay.
no shit.
No, people called 911. The cops showed up thinking there was a guy killing people. Okay? No, honestly. Now,
How did they?
listen, and this was all a plan to help their employees understand.
And give
how-
them PTSD?
I thought it was
Yes.
like team building.
So-
team
I'm sorry,
building
sorry.
exercise.
So no. So one woman jumped over, like she jumped like out of a window into a dumpster to escape.
Oh, what did she
other
land
people,
in?
yeah, it's pretty gross, right? Other people were screaming, "This is it! We're all gonna die!" Okay, so when it's all done, this thing has gone terribly bad, right? I mean,
obvious.
yeah, what a shit show.
I mean, just
Now-
Catholic Charities out of all places.
I
It's
know.
pretty funny.
I know. Is it?
Yeah.
This is absolutely stupid. Now, it actually gets funnier. Okay, are you ready? So the guy that they hired said that he was a cop, but he lied. The guy that they hired said he ran a security firm, but he lied.
He's a convicted felon. We know that. All right, come on.
You're damn right he is. Are you ready? This is what he. Listen.
What
he
did he
was.
go to jail for?
So you ready? About 3. So this happened just a little while ago, okay? But about 4 or 5 months ago, he was arrested and charged with 3 felonies. Are you ready?
For impersonating an officer.
First-degree sexual assault of a child,
Oh,
visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct of a child,
Check.
and attempted intentional child abuse.
Check. Okay.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Yeah. Nice.
That's the guy that they hired.
So obviously their vetting process sucks as well.
so obviously everybody there has been fired that knew about this, right?
You know what? I would imagine now the only way this whole thing could have been worse is if somebody actually died or like the building started on fire.
So
Yeah.
there was actually a movie. It was like a obscure movie, but it was the same thing. So the CEO of the company was having a meeting with his leadership team, and he basically hired a team of people who were going to comment. It was almost like what was the movie with Bruce Willis?
Die Hard?
Yeah, almost like that. They like a team of commandos came in, like in their conference room, and just like held them all at gunpoint, like held them hostage.
But this was a movie.
This is a movie, but the point is the CEO's in on it, and so they all have blanks and the guns and everything. But like basically, they're go sit in the corner.
And then Alec Baldwin shot somebody.
And then, and they're all
sorry.
and they're all scared
Sorry,
shitless. So basically, like one guy, like they said, okay, take off your clothes. They said, take off your pants. And one guy,
What?
And one guy was wearing like women's underwear. So the point is, but that something went wrong in the movie too, where like someone did actually get hurt, because I guess like a real security guard who was there, who wasn't in on the gag, like shot one of the the actors who was portraying the bad guy, and then it kind of went sideways after that.
Yeah, I listen.
Yeah.
In my wildest dream, I cannot believe, and I think there were like 3 or 4 guys, 3 or 4 people who knew that this was going to happen. I can't believe that the 3 of them got together and could possibly think that this was a good idea.
I mean, even for fire drills in schools, most of the time they would go, "Oh, we're gonna have a fire drill sometime today. You don't know when, but don't."
But everybody,
freak out.
but
It's
everybody
not
knows.
real.
But everybody knows about it.
This is someone with a gun.
Someone with a gun. Yeah. And then people faking like they are dying. Yeah. And here's the weirdest part. I mean, you're just lucky that nobody there had a gun and blew that guy away.
That actually happened. That actually happened at a Burger King. So at a Burger King, some guy was actually in on it with one of the employees. He was like the father of one of the employees, so he was going to stage a robbery at the place.
For fun.
For like a real robbery. But his like kid was an employee of the Burger King. But then another Burger King employee who didn't know about it had a real gun and actually shot the guy who was going to stage the robbery. So it just went bad real quick.
I think that's called hilarious.
I mean, but this is like the equivalent of doing the fire drill and like someone runs into the room on fire and then just to freak the kids out.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
wait,
it's
you
like
have a
that.
fire drill. You have a fire drill,
Chinese
and
fire-
then one of the
Chinese
firemen
fire drill.
actually sets fire.
Yeah,
that'd be
said,
great.
Oh my god! It's all the kids. That's the equivalent of what they did.
Oh my god!
It's like one of
Do you
those-
know
it's
how
like-
terrifying and traumatic
So
that would be?
I've been a teacher for 25 years. You know what? I mean, hundreds, thousands of fire drills. If one fireman would have like doused himself in whatever that crap is and just run down the hall on fire,
kerosene, yeah.
I think I would have pissed myself.
That would be so.
So what was that one? I mean, there's those famous YouTube videos where it's like a prank that goes horribly wrong, but I think it's staged. So there was a one famous
They're
one
all
where
fake.
where
Yeah,
the
they're
girl
fake.
the girl comes into the
Yes.
house and there's 2 guys in masks
Yes.
with like a bush
She
knife.
runs outside,
and she
gets
runs
hit
out
by a
and gets
car.
hit by a car, and it looks like super real, but it's
Isn't
all
that
staged.
Scream?
Yeah,
Isn't that
no,
how Scream
wasn't-
No, totally fake.
Yeah, it was.
Totally
Yeah,
fake.
but it shows. It looked pretty good. I mean, it looked pretty real. But it would turn out to be fake.
Totally
so.
fake. Okay, so you guys know President Biden is going to forgive student loans, right?
Up to $20,000.
Right, for people who make under $125,000.
Okay.
Right? So that's the
most
plan,
people.
right? Right? So Marco Rubio is pissed about this. You heard about this, right? He is mad. He is literally saying that this is illegal, right? And so
Well, you know who said that too? Nancy Pelosi said that too, a way back when. She said she said the president doesn't have the authority to do that.
yeah.
But of course, she's on board now because
Yeah, because it's her guy, right?
It's her guy.
But listen, it doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, so Marco Rubio said he was going to share an easy way for people to make the money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
That if they have student loans, he's like, okay, listen, we're not going to do this; it's illegal, but I can give you a hint as to how to make your money back, so you don't have to get free money. Everybody can do this. Everybody who does this, right? So Rubio owed about $100,000 in student debt when he got out of school.
Yeah, where'd he go though? Yale,
Well, it doesn't
Harvard,
matter. It doesn't matter.
Penn State. Was
Okay.
it? Yeah,
Is it
okay.
like-
All
But
right, sure.
he's got a plan.
Oh, he's got a plan.
This is a
Okay,
plan
yeah.
everybody can use.
I think I can guess it.
Five-year
so-
plan.
Yeah. So Jackson, I want you to imagine. I mean, you just got out of school. Let's imagine you owe $100,000.
Okay.
Okay. Marco Rubio has a plan. You ready? Now, this worked for him. On the day that he got elected to the Senate, okay, you ready? He owed $100,000. On the day he got elected to Senate, he got an $800,000 advance to write a book about his life.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So,
Here I-
Jackson, if you owe money right now, and you know you do, write a book about your life. Someone will give you $800,000.
Actually, I got a good tip. I got a good tip too. Let's say you go to a good steakhouse and your bill's $200 and you can't pay your bill.
Write a book about your life.
Just fake a seizure right there.
What?
I
No.
was gonna say light myself on fire. And
Or just bring. I want you to bring Jackson. Here's what you do: you bring one cockroach in a little mason jar, and you let it go on your plate. You go, what the hell? And then you flip out, and then you say, I want to see the manager immediately, and I guarantee you'll get comped. Okay, so yeah. but just
you guys are
leave one,
are not paying attention.
But just leave one bite of steak left on the table just to make it look good. But eat most of it. Eat all the side dishes. But so. And then you say this is outrageous.
I mean, I could also just try to give Deshaun Watson a massage, and he'll probably pay me off outside of court.
$100,000.
I've already been hired by Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's only
Ted's already
5K
volunteered.
though.
Yeah, I think
It was only $5K though.
like 30 shows ago,
Well,
Ted said he would be Deshaun Watson's officially jerk off
Yeah,
well,
jerk
so
off
you got,
guy.
apparently
you got
he-
19 more of those.
Yeah,
to
well,
do,
apparently
Ted.
he doesn't last more than like a minute anyway, so it's going to be an easy job. So he's
Wait a minute. We're still back on this. Listen, Marco Rubio, he literally wrote a book and made $800,000.
So basically, he said, let them eat cake.
There's no way
He said
his
let
life
them
is
eat
that interesting.
Well, he wrote a really cool book. Do you know what it's called? Congratulations, you got elected. Here's $800,000, and you're now my bitch. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Teddy, if you wrote an autobiography, what would you call it?
Oh, that's a good one. I got to think about this. You caught me off guard.
I got it. You ready? Crown and diet in a short glass.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what Teddy orders every time. Listen, every time we walk into Howard Street, that's really where we all do all our drinking. The girl goes, yes. I go, oh, she goes, I walk in, I'm by myself. She goes, and I look at her and I tell her what I want, like the Alaskan Amber or the Great Lakes Amber. And she goes, and Crown and diet in a short glass for your friend. And I'm like, he's not here. I go, and I literally go do this. I could be drinking with anybody. And then a lot of the girls are regulars. They go like this. You go, okay, right. And then she walks back with a Crown and diet in a short glass.
So basically, I'm like like Norm at Cheers. They go Norm,
No,
except I don't have a name.
Yeah, yeah. I listen. If I had an autobiography, right? I think I would call mine "The Man Who Took Down Joe Rogan." Not like I went down on him.
Yeah.
No. I mean like we're number one.
So
like we have 12 million. They have.
So you said took down, now went down.
The man who went down on
it's
Joe
all about
Rogan.
Went down on Joe Rogan.
And Jackson, you haven't lived the life yet, so you can't write any books.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. No, I mean that's not really fair.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
I
what
was just
would
being
your book be? Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to do something amazing. Right?
Shit I haven't done
Actually,
yet.
no. This makes me
Shit I haven't done.
This actually makes me,
Shit I plan on doing tomorrow.
this makes me want to write a book in a way. I mean, just in a very ancillary. I'm not going to actually do it, but if I did,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
I mean, I actually haven't read a book like a book in like years.
You want to write a book and you haven't even read one. Ted, last book you read.
Step one.
Ted,
Toaster
think about
manual.
I don't even know, man. It's been like
Come on, man.
25, 30. I mean, if it was like a school assignment, I guess I just glanced
You
through
haven't
it.
read a book since school.
I don't read books, man.
Oh, man, I am so... You know what?
Words make me sleepy.
There's like no way you
there's
just
like,
said...
There's like so many of them. It's like the
Ted,
for
you just hit the title for the show. Words make me sleepy.
That could be his book title too.
Words make me sleepy. Ted's autobiography.
Dude, honestly,
Words.
Words.
I have a hard
Make
time.
me
I have a hard
sleepy.
time sleeping. But if I open up a book and was like reading it, it's like, and then Emily told Sarah that.
Or they could be
But
the
Ted,
description of his book instead, like the summary where it's.
That'd be great.
It's like that horse
Crown and
tranquilizer.
diet in a short glass, and you flip it over on the back. Words made Ted sleepy.
You remember what was that movie, Old School, where he gets hit in the dart in the neck with the tranquilizer?
That's your life.
Got a
You're
dart.
my boy, Blue.
Ted, you're writing a book. No, don't take the dart out, man. I'm good. Wow, that is so weird. You can't even name the last book you read. Ted, there is nothing good about that.
Well, honestly, I know a lot of people have a hard time sleeping, so I know there's like melatonin, there's like edibles, there's alcohol.
Ted, you just do drugs. You do drugs and alcohol.
Honestly, just read something from like Shakespeare or like Oscar Wilde or something, or like one of
but
those
you don't
guys.
do that. You do
Yeah.
drugs and alcohol.
But Emily Dickinson, yeah, you'll be out like a light.
Okay, that is. I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people who are just like, Ted can't remember the last book he read. Yeah, that makes sense to me. All right, you guys know QAnon, right?
Yeah.
We've all heard
Yeah,
of QAnon, right?
QAnon, yeah.
Okay, so the leader of QAnon.
Wait, can you remind us all again what QAnon actually represents? I think I know what it does, but I don't want to misspeak.
Psychotic conspiracy theorists.
So it's basically Democrats who are secretly pedophiles,
Republicans.
right? Oh, wait.
Republican.
No, I think it's a
I'm
Republicans
pretty
who are
sure it's
Republicans.
Republicans. I'm pretty sure.
being like pedophiles or something,
I
or
mean, it's not
something with
Republicans.
sex
It's
trafficking.
right wing.
Yeah, it's super right. It's super right.
No, the
Teddy.
QAnon is against the Democrats, accusing them
Against
of
the
like
Democrats.
it's a cabal of like,
Yeah,
you know, like
it says-
you know,
Yeah, but it's
Didn't
not
they
made
say-
up of Democrats.
But
hating
didn't
them.
they say that like Oprah was like drank blood or something? QAnon
yeah,
literally
the-
said
so
Oprah
basically there's,
drank
like,
the
the-
blood of fetuses.
So-
Yeah, they're the one that did there's the celebrities have like a syndicate of sex rings.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
little
So the
and blood
Democrats,
drinking,
the Democrats and liberals have a syndicate of like sex rings of like, you know, whether it's like kiddie porn or child trafficking, but that's the whole premise of QAnon, I believe. You know, kind of like a
Yes.
I see
like
that.
a Jeffrey Epstein type
Yes.
vibe, you know, to it, you know. So
So yes, well, the leader of QAnon in Canada, her name is Ramana Didulo. Okay, and she has some interesting ideas. Okay, so her first interesting idea, and this is important. She said that Queen Elizabeth was executed last year.
but she's still like.
No, Ted.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Ted.
okay.
She says that she was executed. I don't
Wait.
know who that woman is.
Wait, I thought Elvis is still alive too.
She didn't mention Elvis, but she literally said that Queen Elizabeth was executed last year. So I'm assuming that is her doppelganger.
Like it
It's
matters
like
because
the-
the
it's like-
queen makes so many decisions.
It's like
right
the
now.
it's like the Manchurian Candidate, right? That we're gonna plant a, you know, right?
Yeah. A 99. You've replaced a 99-year-old woman. All right. I have no idea.
Who
Okay.
has no power to begin with? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
You
Are
brought
you ready?
yourself so much
She
power.
also believes that she is the sovereign of Canada. This woman, she believes she's sovereign
She's
of
a
Canada.
sovereign citizen?
And she has 70,000 followers online. There are 70,000 people who
but-
agree with her.
But you know, I think we joked about this a long time ago. I don't know if I joked with you, but I told somebody, I'm not sure if it was you guys, but I said if I had the motivation, I could just make up some bullshit about some weird cult, and I would probably get like a few thousand followers across the country. I just have to sound like I'm really into it, you know, almost like Dianetics, right, or like you know, Scientology.
or like a guy who doesn't read books.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I could just make some
They
shit.
make you sleepy.
I could just make some shit up.
Books
I could
make
make
you
I could make some shit up
No words.
and just sound really adamant
Word,
about it.
sorry.
And I could guarantee I could find like at least a few people in the whole country who would follow my line of, you know, just making shit up. Just making
Nope.
shit up.
Teddy,
you know.
listen. I believe
Aliens are coming to take us away. We need to take this.
coming to take me away. No, listen. This is why I believe this, because she has 70,000 followers online, right? And so she went, and just recently she told her followers in Canada to act. Okay,
What-
there's things they needed to do.
Such as
Two things.
Yeah,
Two things. Number one, she told them to arrest anyone involved in Canada's COVID-19 vaccines.
a citizen's arrest.
Yes, she said arrest doctors, nurses, delivery people.
Flexicuffs. She's supplying
I don't
free
I
flexicuffs.
don't think you can do that.
Well, this is what she told people to do. Okay, now that when you think about it, that's pretty abnormal. But then she took it one step farther. She went off the deep end, and she told the morons to do citizens' arrests on the Peterborough Police. Now, this is a town in Ontario, so she told them, go to the police station and do a citizen's arrest on the police.
Yes, that's not going to end
Oh,
badly at
gonna
all.
go
That's not going to end
poorly.
badly at all.
No, Ted, it ended super badly because about 30 of these dildos marched to the police station. Not only did they start protesting, but they actually attacked the cops that came outside and told them to get lost. Yes. And some asses were kicked and some people got arrested. Could you imagine? I want you to imagine this, Ted. Someone tells you to go down to your local police station, and when the cops come outside, Chicago cops, you go ahead and just take a swing at one of those Chicago cops and see what happens. I mean, I know people in Canada are nicer, but I'll bet you the cops were not happy. Yeah. I mean, is that I want you to think about the insanity that is happening.
But you know what's amazing to me when you think about the genesis of that whole thing? Like, okay, so before they even heard of this woman, whoever this woman is, they're probably just normal people living a normal life, and somehow they managed to listen to her. I'm guessing they never met her in person. So they listened to her on the whether it's like like some type of like a podcast like this, and they believed what she said.
Ted, we're not doing that.
And they believed what she said so fervently that they basically were willing to risk their lives.
Yes.
For this lunatic, right? I mean, she's obviously a lunatic, right?
Yeah.
Like a crazy person off the street, right?
Is she arrested?
No, so she sat off to the side.
That's like mob. That's like inciting a
Doesn't matter
mob.
if she sat off to the side. She incited
At
riots.
This point, she is not in trouble.
But here's the funny thing. That's like mob. It's like screaming fire.
Inciting a mob.
It's like inciting a mob.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
But listen. I would hope that whatever we say here,
I'd like to have her on the show.
No one is motivated to do anything. I hope that we motivate no one to do anything. I actually hope that we motivate people to do more drinking and more drugs and do less.
If you think that we've told you to do anything, don't do it.
We haven't.
Don't you dare.
So
if you even think that, though, don't you dare.
So George Carlin, the famous comedian who's passed away a few years ago, a man ahead of his time, obviously, basically said,
was it? You mean like an alien?
Yeah, I mean, but he was a man ahead of his time. But the point is, he actually said motivated people, those are the people you can't trust, because people who are motivated, those are the people who could potentially ruin lives. But someone who's sitting on their couch, playing with their pecker, watching a game show, unmotivated people, they never hurt anybody. They never hurt anybody, But it's the motivated people who scream at the top of their lungs, like, we need to do this, we need to do that. Yeah, they're the ones who you got to watch out for.
Okay, so here.
Motivated
I'll give you one right here.
So.
Have you guys ever heard of a group called People of Praise?
No. It obviously sounds Christian.
Okay, so it is a secretive Christian group, and are you ready for this? Do you guys know Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She belongs to this secret society.
She's a second or the newest one, right? She was the one that was just.
I think second from the newest, right? Yeah.
I thought she was after.
It's like a Skull and Bones, one of those secret societies like
listen,
Yale or something.
It's here's what I'm sure of. I don't want any of my Supreme Court justices to belong to a secret group.
Well, you know what? I don't want a Supreme Court.
Freemasons.
I don't want a Supreme Court.
I know you don't, Teddy. Yeah. I know you don't. But this group is truly messed up. Are you ready for this? The whole thing is based on women's subservience to men. That is the basic premise of this group. And this woman is involved in it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why a woman would join a group that says men are superior and you have to be subservient to them. Explain this to me.
She's a Supreme Court justice.
So then, wait, does that mean that if I, as a man, told her that her views are shit, that she would just automatically go back on? Like, I don't. Other than that, then she's just going back on what she believes. Then
listen. This is the weirdest thing. When I found out about this, again, I do my research, and it scared the shit out of me. Okay, so this is what this group believes in: men are the heads of family and dominant to women. Okay, women need to be obedient to their husbands. Is that?
Well, there's already countries like that. They're called Saudi Arabia,
right? But
Pakistan,
Ted,
India.
This is America.
Yeah.
This is a Supreme Court justice who is part of this. Okay.
I imagine as a Supreme Court justice, though, does she even have time to do anything for her
to be in a secret society? Yeah, I mean
secret society, but also to do anything for her husband. I mean, she's going to be busy.
Not really. Not if
she's not doing what she's.
Jack, I have no idea.
Again, I don't understand.
I would love to have a Supreme Court justice on this show to quiz them about their views, because I guarantee you.
Yeah, that'd be so easy.
Ted, there is no way that anyone would have voted for this chick if she knew that she was part of this.
Well, that's the bad thing.
Sorry,
nobody's voting for anybody on the Supreme Court. They're
appointed.
They're appointed.
Listen. I cannot believe. Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so you ready for this? The key to a woman's life, according to this group, okay, that she is part of, is bearing children for her husband. That is the key to their life. It is. It's almost unfathomable. Mm-hmm. It really is, okay? They have a cult-like control over their people. Are you ready for this? When they're doing their little churchy things.
Their little powwow.
They speak in tongues. Actually,
my favorite one is when they have the snakes, the poisonous snakes, and then the snake bites somebody. That's hilarious. Because they think the snake's your friend. You can control the snake. Yeah, you can't control him.
But doesn't that seem? I mean, doesn't that seem impossible that like an adult person who is put in a power? She's literally one of 9 people that has changed America as we know it, and she's part of this group.
Well, like I said, goes back to my original premise is we need to get rid of that antiquated premise of, it's like a star chamber where it's like, these people are not the 9 wisest people in the country. They don't, I mean, they have some law background, of course, but they were just in the right place at the right time, and the right politicians appointed them to this position. They don't know jack shit.
I mean, 2 of them have been accused of sexual assault.
The point is they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble. They think they're more important than they really are, just like most politicians do, because they live in their little bubble. And again, we need to just get rid of this whole system of it's stupid. Stupid. It's like thinking the Earth is still flat or some stupid shit like that. It's just dumb.
Teddy, I literally agree.
Yeah.
I literally agree. Okay, so listen, listen. Everybody who's listening to this, you can look this up and do it yourself. But we got to move on. So Teddy, I'm going to make a statement. As far as everyone knows, we are straight. Is that correct?
Like
you and I,
like a ruler, like we're
straight.
I'm straight,
like heterosexuals.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now it looks like we need to go to Modesto, California.
Okay.
Okay, because this is the place to go to celebrate your straightness, because they had a National Straight Pride Coalition rally.
Straight as a circle.
Okay, right? No. Hold on a second. Hold on. The people who are gay, they get to have their rally. The straight people had their rally. I mean, doesn't it sound like fun? Just celebrate. I don't know, like doing it regular style. I don't know, missionary. Like, hey man, missionary style.
What was the movie Jump Street 20? We did missionary.
So
missionary.
So listen, literally, this is what happened. About 35 people showed up in Modesto, California.
35. Okay.
Yeah. Wait. 35 people who are really into their straightness, Teddy.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay.
So, yeah.
They showed up to hang out with other straighties to do straight things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just straight stuff, man.
But here's the funny thing. What if there's what if there's one guy who's not straight but just wants to attend? So he's like the plant. He's like the
Teddy,
the spy.
No, Ted.
No, man.
No,
man. It's like 4-minute abs.
Teddy.
No, it's not possible. Okay.
Listen. So some of the straightos, I believe I would call myself a straighto. Yeah. They did a little preaching, and they were like throwing Jesus' name around, right? As they were doing their straight thing, right?
What does that do? What does Jesus have to do with heterosexuality?
Jesus who only hang out with
12
other men. Sorry.
12 dudes.
12 dudes.
Yeah.
Only.
The guy who never had a girlfriend who hung out with 12 other dudes.
Never had sex, right? Yeah. So and this is my favorite part. Not only did he hang out with 12 other dudes, but didn't they hang him? Didn't they like nail him to a cross, mostly naked? Yeah.
It's kind of pornographic.
I mean, that sounds super, I don't know, unstraight to me, but whatever. Okay, so things got a little funky as they had their straight rally, right? Because a bunch of protesters showed up.
Of course.
Whoa.
Yeah, of course they did.
As usual, yeah.
Now, I assume the protesters were unstraight, okay? And a fight broke out. There were fireworks, a wicked conga line. I have no idea what happened, right? The police broke it up. And for a nice change, they pepper sprayed, shot beanbags, and beat the crap out of the protesters who were not the straights.
Ooh,
yeah, isn't that a nice change?
Well, did the straights have a permit?
Well, yeah.
You remember when the Nazis marched in Skokie years ago? They had a permit.
I hate Illinois Nazis,
but they had a permit.
Yeah.
They had a permit.
Listen,
they had a permit.
They had a permit. It's okay. We have a permit.
Teddy, I do not know how that works. Okay, I have no idea.
What's that one crazy church that like when there was like a military funeral, they would like basically.
Oh, remember we talked about that chick, right?
Accuse they would accuse the
Church,
dead person. And they would like mock the people attending the funeral, saying they would deserve to go to hell.
Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, they were like horrible people.
Yeah, we talked about them a bunch of shows ago.
And I think the government said that you have to stay like 1,000 feet away from the funeral.
They still do that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh man,
I feel like that's a weird place to die on a hill for. Like,
you're fighting the bad fight.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, you're fighting. You are literally fighting the bad fight. When you do that.
No one's gonna be on your side for that.
It's such a weird thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So last thing, you guys ready? So you guys have heard about the book bannings, right, around the country?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Texas, I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So this is kind of it's so interesting to me that I feel like we got to talk about this before we get out of here, okay? So I don't know if you know this. Over half the states in America have book bannings.
But here's the question: what books are they banning?
I
that
think
they
you
don't want
should
you to know
ban
about. They want you to
Catcher
know
in the
about.
Rye. That
Yeah.
is the worst book I've ever read.
Just
and
ban it
no
because
one-
it's bad?
It's terrible. It's the dumbest book, and I think no one should ever read it again because it's awful. And
There's-
if anybody likes it, you should reevaluate
Oh, is that
stance.
Truman Capote? Yeah, Truman Capote. I've actually
Yeah.
never. What was that book about? I don't even know. I've heard of it. I've never read it. Obviously, because I don't read books. But
Just some depressed kid, and all he does is call people phonies, and then he hires a hooker, and then he doesn't have sex with her, but he gets beat up by a pimp because he won't have sex with her, and then he just cries
Wait,
about
is
it.
that
Yeah,
what
but-
pimps do? They beat you up when you
but-
don't have
yeah,
sex
well,
with your
but that-
with
but-
their top bitch,
but
bottom bitch.
Bottom bitch.
But
Bottom
Truman
bitch.
Capote.
Butter's bottom
Truman
bitch.
Capote. He wrote that novel back in the
Butter's
1950s or
bottom
60s,
bitch.
right?
No,
50s?
I don't think that was Capote. It was R.A. Salvatore.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah.
Is that his?
Salinger.
his-
no,
is that his-
DJ Salinger.
DJ Salinger.
Salinger.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
So
one of those.
this is a
But that
funny
was back
story
in the
because
60s.
yeah.
But that was back in the 60s,
So
right?
so Jack
Yeah.
reads the book in high school and he's like, I don't understand why they want to they want to ban this. It's just a terrible book. He goes, that makes sense. They could ban it for that. But so most of the things that they're banning are anti LGBTQ2 plus KG and then anti-race stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they're
But
banning.
most of these books, you got to remember when they came out in an era where like it was a different era.
But
so
they're
we
they're
can't
banning they're banning way newer books.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
Texas. This is funny. Texas is banning books that make students. Are you ready? Feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or distress about their race or sex.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Doesn't mean anything.
Could be anything.
That could be everything.
Everything.
That could be any book in the whole world.
Anything can cause you discomfort,
Yeah.
anxiety, stress.
Yeah. What if
whether
there's
it's a book or not? So,
about
yeah.
bananas and I don't like bananas?
Yeah.
That would make me.
And honestly,
Right.
if you can't handle a book, you ain't gonna make it in the real world. Okay. If you get
If you
freaked
can't
out
handle
over a book,
pretend.
yeah. If you can't handle,
Yeah.
or even if it's real, if you can't handle reading something in the comfort of your own home, yeah, you ain't gonna make it in the real world. So just FYI.
I have no idea. Listen, Florida is banning books that talk about sexual orientation or gender identity.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's going on. Okay? Georgia is removing obscene books.
But obscene? What's obscene mean? What does that mean?
Well, I
Obscene
think,
is subjective,
I think that means
right?
that kids can't read Playboy in the library anymore.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But I think when I was in college, I think I talked about this in the class. So we talked about what people find offensive. So offensive is very subjective. So what you find offensive, I might not find offensive. So why should I be stopped from looking at something that just because you're hypersensitive? In my opinion, if you're hypersensitive to something, but I don't find it offensive at all, why should I be stopped from looking at something? That I'm gonna not gonna do anything with it. But the point is, why should my knowledge be curtailed because of your insecurities?
Right. I always feel like if somebody wants to ban a book, that seems silly. Just don't read it.
Yeah. Just if
Don't
it
ban
offends
TV
you,
shows.
Just like this
right?
podcast. Don't listen to it.
Right. Don't.
No, I'm just kidding. Please listen to it all the time, as much as possible.
No,
Put it on a continuous
don't,
loop.
Don't listen to it. No. But yeah, that's the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah.
If I don't like a restaurant, I don't go. Right? If I don't like a business, I don't frequent it.
yeah.
If I don't like a book, well, you don't like any books, Ted. You don't read shit. But yeah, I don't read it.
I like
So it's really weird to
I
me,
like
right?
I like pictures.
Now, are you ready for this? This is a weird one. Wyoming is going to arrest library employees that allow books that talk about sexual activity, sexual identity, or gender identity. You can literally, if you work at a library, whether it's a regular library or a school library, you can literally be arrested if some parent calls in. You can go to jail for having a book there that someone reads.
Aren't libraries run by the government? And if they are, then therefore you would be protected by freedom of speech.
Oh, I thought you
So you
say we
cannot-
could just arrest the government.
No, I'm just saying if you can't arrest someone
No, listen.
because then you're infringing on their freedom of speech.
I don't understand how
Or
it works.
press.
I listen. I don't know where this came from, but I mean, I remember all these book bannings were like happened way back in the day, right?
Well, you know who also banned book Nazis. Remember, they burned a lot
Yeah.
of books right before they did what they did to the Jews in Germany. So just remember that. So one thing eventually leads to another thing. It might not happen right away, but trust me, it's just a stepping stone to something else. It's more insidious.
You're
than-
goddamn right. It is.
Yeah.
So I found a list of books that are being banned, right?
Yeah.
So you guys will literally freak out about this. You ready? Rosa Parks' autobiography, okay, is being banned. Okay, a book called All Boys Aren't Blue.
Never heard of it.
It's about minority. It's about black kids, black guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A book called Gender Queer, which I'm sure just the name would make.
Now, here's the thing. I'd be interested in reading a book like that. I'd want to know what they have to say.
Ted, you're not interested in reading any
But
book.
I'm
That's
saying-
bullshit.
But if I did read a book, I'd be more interested in reading something like that.
So if you did read a book, you
expand-
would read Gender Queer.
So those words wouldn't make you sleepy?
I'm just saying to expand my horizons. So I'm just saying it's not going to affect me as a person. But I want to hear what the other side has to say.
Okay.
So why wouldn't you want that?
Okay, could I do this before I get to the other
Oh,
books
there's more.
that have been banned?
There's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Oh, okay.
Could I just do this? Everybody, Jackson and Teddy and I are all going to read the book Gender Queer before the next show. Okay, so we got a little extra time. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to record. So this is Tuesday, right? We're not going to record again till a week from Thursday. We're going to start recording on Thursdays.
Okay.
So if you get a little extra time, like if you every Tuesday or every Wednesday, you expect to hear
so
a
we're
show.
not recording until next Thursday.
Next
Yeah.
Thursday.
Oh, good.
Not
Oh,
this Thursday, but
gotcha,
next Thursday.
gotcha. Okay,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so we're going to do that because golf league is over, and Thursdays is the day that we have off.
Someone get that book. I'll read it out loud to all of us, so we'll all know together.
Teddy, I will literally get you a copy of the book Gender Queer.
Okay.
We are all going to read this shit.
I do want to read that book. Actually,
Okay.
no, I want to read not every book that's banned because it seems like there's a lot of them. But I want to read some banned books to see what people are scared of.
Okay, so what do we got? We got Rosa Parks' autobiography, All Boys Aren't Blue, which is about gay black people.
Yeah.
Okay, black boys,
Sure.
black guys, I think.
Sure.
Gender Queer, I have no idea what that is.
Sure.
Now, the other book is Whose Dick Is That? And It's Lunchtime in Orgyville. I want to read both. Listen, there's 3 books I'm going to read.
I think I'm going to stay awake.
Yeah.
What is there another one? It's what goes on in that truck stopper bathroom.
What happens at the Minneapolis airport bathroom stays the Minneapolis airport.
Actually, oh man, that is so wrong. But listen, so we are. Listen, everybody who's out there, do me a favor. Read the book Gender Queer, right? Whatever it is.
I never even heard of it, but yeah,
I've never heard of
wanna
it.
check
I
out,
just,
yeah.
if it's banned, you're right, Teddy. That's
If it's
dude,
banned, it automatically you want to read it, right?
This is why I love this show. I want to read that now that you said that,
Yeah.
just to see what the
they're-
big fucking deal.
What are they
is.
protecting us from? What are
Right.
they protecting us from?
Right. Like if we read this book, like here's what I want to happen. So if the 3 of us read this book and Teddy and I come back and we are just fabulous,
Yeah.
then you know that you reading a book can turn you.
Why do you keep leaving me out? I am also straight.
What? Yeah, whatever, man.
You keep going, me and Teddy. I'm like, I have
Well,
a girlfriend.
no, I'm just. I mean, you're not gonna. But you're not gonna be here.
I
mean,
know, but still.
we're 99% sure that you are not going to be here
Yeah,
next week.
but still,
right?
you keep
But,
saying-
but no, I think people want to know, like when we're done, what this book is about. Here's what's going to happen. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read this book. Teddy is not going to read this book because he hasn't read a book in 30 freaking years. Okay,
Might have been more,
And
but-
I'm going to talk about this, and Teddy's going to go, "Wow, is that what happens?"
No,
way.
I want to know because I do. No, you got
Teddy,
me excited.
I'm-
I'm actually excited about reading a book for the first time because most of the stuff out there.
30 years.
I mean, it's so. I mean, you see like the New York Times bestseller list. It's like someone's
So
autobiography.
James Patterson.
Yeah, James Patterson.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Whose dick is that?
Hillary Clinton.
Lunchtime in Orgyville
Hillary
and
Clinton.
Gender Queer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was on my server. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I mean, I don't care about that shit. I want to hear about something interesting. I wanna
Okay,
read something
so
interesting.
Teddy, we're going to read the book. Listen,
Yeah.
if everybody, please, everybody out there, listen, read Rosa Parks' autobiography. Okay, read All Boys Aren't Blue. Read Gender Queer. Read those and see what is happening in the places that you live. Again, over half of the states are starting to ban books that they think are going to
and here's
make
the
people
here's the funny
different
thing.
than they are.
It's just a select few of these people making. Like I said, the problem is you have a very select group of people making decisions for a large group of people that you didn't elect. I didn't elect. I'm sure some of these people didn't elect these people to make those decisions. They're just
Right.
doing this unilaterally.
Right.
And that's the sad thing. You're not
Right.
representing my views. You're just doing this on your own because of your own fears and your own inadequacies. Right? That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
totally. Okay. So we got to end this. Holy crap, man! This is going on.
Just end it.
Just make this stop. Okay. Jackson, go ahead and give us. We get to the last words. Go ahead and give us your last words, man.
It's been fun being the emergency guest. Makes me feel really good that I'm only the emergency guest.
That is great. So Jack, you've been on twice, correct?
Yes.
Twice. I've done this. Oh, God damn it. We have no guest. I yell upstairs, Jack, do you want to be a guest tonight? Yeah, sure. All right, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me feel so good about myself.
Well, you know,
Thanks, Dad.
possession's 9/10 of the law, so if he's here, I mean, he already wins, right? So, I mean, you can't beat that.
Okay, you possess this show. Good job.
And I'm going to finish it off like I did it last time. Always wrap it up.
There you go. Always wrap it up. And that's a Wiener reference, okay? Teddy, last words.
I got to play a softball game later tonight, and I don't want to be the laughing stock of a bunch of grown men making fun of me, so I'm going to try to do a little better.
You didn't show up to the last game. They almost won.
But they didn't win. so
right.
They might need me. Who knows?
That's a terrifying thought, but maybe. Okay, so, all right, here's the deal. We've got some awesome guests coming up, right? In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a beer guy from a local brewery who's going to talk to us about beer, okay?
And bring some samples, hopefully, too, obviously, right?
Oh, goddamn, I didn't even think about that. Hell yeah, he better.
Ask him for samples.
Yes.
So we can plug his product.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a guy who's doing hypnosis. He's listening to the show, and if he likes the show, he's going to be on, so you know that that's happening. We are trying to do a show on women's issues. I'm doing everything I can to get a woman who is into women's issues from one of the local universities. It's Chicago, man. We got so many. So far, nobody's reached back out to me. Okay. It probably has something to do with the name of our show being The Real Three Idiots, and we constantly talk about masturbating. Yeah, that's probably not going to help. We're going to have a whole bunch of awesome guests on very soon, okay? I love doing what we're doing. We're having a great time. Teddy, I cannot wait to see what happens with this book and what happens next week. We love everybody, mostly, okay? And we want everybody to succeed. Even though Ted thinks that friends don't want friends to be good, this friend wants all of our friends to do an awesome job. All right, so we had a great time. We will be here in a week from Thursday, so don't freak out if you're listening on Wednesday and Thursday and you can't find the show. It'll be here, and it will be spectacular. So everybody have a great week and totally chill, man. Just be cool.